Hello everybody, welcome to Red Tool House. I'm going to sound like a broken record again, but seems to be the norm here lately. We're not all standing in the woods just for our health, it's just because of this. So this is Matilda. She's due on April the 14th, and it's March 30th. And guess what she's doing? So she is here in the woods when she needs to be down there in the farrowing stall in the barn. My plan was to move her next week, but she jumped the gun on me. So she's a gilt, so this is first time for her. She is expressing milk. She's got discharge. She's having regular contractions. So I think this is a green light. But as my luck would have it, that the weather tonight, it's supposed to be rainy and 45, and then we're going to have freeze warning. It's going to be down in the low 20s tomorrow evening. So we are hoping that she's going to wrap this up. Right now it's 70 some degrees. So if she'd have her litter right now, then that would be great, and then we can figure that out. But getting a little frustrating. My genetic line for some reason likes to go earlier and earlier and earlier. So we may this may underscore my comment in previous videos about how we're going to retire this whole genetic line and start from scratch. It's too early. Way too early. Okay, so now the plan is to go over and get some hay. My neighbor has some old rolls of hay that he lets me have. Again, that was not supposed to happen until next week, but we're going to do it now. So, a little half-mile drive on the tractor, and we'll be right back. Well, I either need to lose some weight or get a sports bra when I drive my tractor. It's a little ridiculous. Okay, so it's not looking good for Matilda in her first run. I think she's past the one horn, and looks like 4 sacks hit the ground, 3 stillborn, 1 somewhat developed, the other 2 hardly developed. There's 1 piglet on the ground, very, very small, very, very underformed. So I think this is going to be a very lackluster litter. But we'll see. She's turned, and see if she's going to pass anything on the other side. Well, Matilda's done. She had only 1 viable piglet hit the ground, and extremely, extremely small. Very runt. It's tough to call it the runt when it was the only one that was viable to hit the ground, but it didn't survive very long, less than 2 hours. So she's done. She had, let's see, she had 4 on 1 horn, 4 birth sacs, 1 of which had the runt in it, the one that was viable. 2 of those 4 were so malformed that you just a little bit of bone and some other flesh and some material there. So really malformed. She got up and turned to start on the other horn. She passed a pretty good sized piglet. It was actually twice the size of the runt, but it was dead. It was out of the sack. It was dead, and really almost felt like it didn't have any torso bones, ribs, and everything's all really mushy. So again, some malformity there. She passed a large placenta and pretty much was done. She's still in her nest right now. She's just kind of sleeping it off, I guess, a bit tired. So she's just hanging out there. I'm just going to leave her be, and I'm sure she'll come back down to the barn when she's ready to. So, needless to say, very disappointing. Obviously, was hoping this was my last bred pig for the spring, and so I bred 2, and Mercy miscarried, and then of course now Matilda's a horrible litter. So I'm not doing too well in the pig business. So as I mentioned before, there's obviously a silver lining to all of this. This will help me make my decision of retiring this genetic line. I'm pretty confident now. Obviously I could change my mind, but I'm pretty confident now. I'm just going to retire them all and start over, and maybe even look at migrating toward a heritage breed, and maybe even scaling back a little bit, not trying to do 20 or 30 hogs at a time until I get more pasture woodlot opened up, get a little bit get a little better infrastructure there. I don't know. Obviously right now is not the time to be making decisions, simply because of the emotions are kind of raw, a little aggravated. Right now I could walk away from it all and go live in a condo and be okay. But that's what I'm thinking right now. So we'll let that settle for a bit, and maybe that'll change my mind. But it is what it is. The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. This is how you got to look at it. So we'll let the sun set. We'll start the new day and see where we go from there. There's obviously a lot of options, a lot of potential things we can do. Looking at some other breed lines with some other breeders out there. So we'll see how it goes. Ironically, I was going to announce this in one of the videos here within the week. So it's kind of ironic that I mentioned it in this, but despite the poor animal husbandry efforts I've had with pigs here lately, we're actually going to start a podcast called the Pastured Pig Podcast. In fact, it's not going to be about Red Toolhouse at all. It's going to be me interviewing other pastured pig operations across the country, and it's pretty exciting. I've already booked quite a few appointments, interview appointments. So we'll be doing obviously an audio podcast, be interviewing people over the internet or over the phone, and talking about their operations. And we'll be interviewing people that raise a couple pastured pigs for themselves for personal consumption, all the way up to one of the guys I have booked is the largest pastured pig operation in South Carolina, supposedly. So we'll cover everything in between. We'll cover the husbandry side of it as well as the business side of it, everything from farrowing to processing and marketing. So I'm really anxious to do that. I'm hoping to launch that the first episode may hit in May or June. All of our interviews are scheduled for the month of April, so try to get some of those under our belt. So look for that. We'll definitely share that when that comes online. And again, it's not Troy giving you advice on how to raise pigs, because I don't think I'm qualified right now. But we'll be talking to other people. All right, well, enough of that. Take care, everybody.